use and compromised privacy among youth shows that the current or former partners were the most frequent perpetrators on both young men and women. The report further indicates that 44.4% of men and 44.9% of women have reported not always having safe access to the internet. We now want to link up with my colleague Brenda Zeda Radido, who has been following up on the launch of that particular GBV report. Brenda, good afternoon. Thanks for your time. Kindly bring us up to speed with some of the key concerns that have been highlighted in this report.
Good afternoon, Jesse. I mean, it's quite interesting that we're seeing that men are the ones who are now facing, gender-based violence technologically. Most of the times when you talk about GBV, we're talking about women, but this time around it's different. And as you rightly put it, that figure is very high, and that survey was conducted in Nairobi County, specifically within the slums of this county. And Jesse, some of the people who witnessed this violence actually said that they sought for counseling because running to the community, running to family members for help was not helping them at all, and some were not even free to talk to their family members. So counseling was the only way to actually come out of this situation of just trying to be talked to ensure that they are okay. But then, Jesse, of a major concern about gender-based violence within the slum areas in Nairobi, it is that in terms of sexual activities, there is a concern that women are the ones who are affected. That number is very high, and they're saying that some of the women who've been abused sexually also tend not to go to the police officers, police stations, actually to the gender desk to report some of these cases. And I mean, the CEC for Nairobi County in charge of health say that right now they're trying to train community workers, health workers, to try and talk to some of these women who've been sexually abused as a way of speaking out. Also talking to their parents to ensure that should their children, actually their daughters, be sexually abused, then they ought to report that. And this figure that we're talking about, gender-based violence, sexual gender-based violence, we are talking about young people from the age of 15 years to the age of 20 years. So it clearly shows that they're sexually active as from the age of 15 to the age of 20 years within the slum areas. So it is a major concern. But then, some of the stakeholders who attended this launch today, the launch of this report, says that actually raise a concern of a lack of a good framework to try and sort out this whole issue. They're saying that, technologically, men and women are being abused on the online platform, but as a country, we do not have a framework to protect these women. And this is something that even members of parliament have raised concern about, some time back when a former woman representative was being abused online. And those are concerns also on the floor of the House, saying that these perpetrators of online gender-based violence ought to be brought to book. So they're saying lack of a good framework has also, necessitated, Jesse, but has actually increased the cases of gender-based violence within the online platform. And so, Jesse, lastly, some of this gender-based violence, some of them, the victims, actually said that apart from the services, the counseling services they received, I mean, one would think of going for a medical service, but they're saying no, only 21% of these victims say they would only seek medical services. Others, as 9.8%, are saying they've sought some sort of help within the shelter, being given a shelter within a safe space. And lastly, 6.8% of the women, and actually the figure is the same, with 6.8% of women, 6.8% of men, saying that they've gone to a police station to report the cases of gender-based violence. So, Jesse, I will be bringing, of course, our viewers up to date with what this report exactly entailed during a subsequent bulletins, but it's back to you in studio.
Well, Brenda, thanks for that brief. All to do with that particular report released by the Performance Monitoring Action on Gender-Based Violence, all to do with technology